Yeah, I was told that it was called on the field a touchdown, and because of that, it was upheld. I didn't quite understand exactly how that was, but that's what they said.
Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, Michigan had the ball for the final 8 minutes of the game. What was looking back on that sequence? What was the issue getting on?
Yeah, just they did a nice job running the ball, and we ended up hanging on at the end, giving our offense a chance to win, but too much time off the clock there. We got to get a stop and get off the field.
Clay Hall, WSYX.
How would you rate Kyle's performance? I mean, 18 of 30, almost 300 yards. The decision making. I mean,
yeah, in this game, you got to win the rushing yards and you got to win the turnover battle. And we did neither of those things. So, if that's not going to happen, we're not going to win this game.
Dan, did you have Dan Wetzel, Yahoo?
Ryan, your team played opposed. This is a huge stage, so much going on. What did you tell them if you want to share after losing a game?
Yeah, I try to keep, what we talk about in the locker room to ourselves, but we're all disappointed. We know that what this game means to so many people, and so to come up short is certainly crushing, not only just because you invest your whole year in it. We know at Ohio State what this game means. And so, there's a locker room in there that's devastated, and it wasn't a lack of effort, but again, we didn't win the rushing yards, we didn't win the turnover battle, so you're not going to win the game.
Is it possible to close the door in the back over here? Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
Ryan, you guys put points on all four second-half drives here. What did you see on that they were able to get success and get points on every drive in the second half?
Yeah, I felt like they were able to establish a run a little bit there and kept the good rhythm going. I felt like that happens a lot in games like this. You kind of go back and forth a little bit in the second half, so that was fairly normal. I felt like the guys were doing a good job early on in the game, but ultimately it comes down to getting stops and then finishing drives on offense.
Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, you mentioned the lack of rushing success. Did you see any common denominator as to why you weren't able to get any traction?
No, I mean, I think there was some traction for sure. Yeah, I mean, there was certainly one drive in particular. I felt like we were really rocking off the ball and we were doing a good job. I don't know ultimately what the final numbers were, but I feel like when you go into this game, you gotta win rushing yards, and it didn't happen. I don't know what the final numbers were, but they had more than we did, and that's a big part of controlling the game. Certainly has to do with the last couple drives, and then also and then turnover battle. And I'd like to say it's more than that, but I'm not sure it is.
Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, I apologize if you're asking before, but the early interception by Kyle, what happened on that play, and how much did you feel like you were playing uphill all day as a result?
Not a good start. You want to have a quick start. The kid made a nice play. Johnson jumped inside on a slant and made a nice play. I have to see it on film, but I know he's playing a little bit inside leverage there, and Kyle, I think just kind of fired in there and on a slant play. It's a bang play, and so we'll have to look at the film and find out exactly what took place on the play. But that's what I saw from my vantage point. That was the communication that we had on the sideline.
Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Ryan, you mentioned working this game all year. Michigan has a running back throw. They go for it on fourth down a few times, have some creative plays. Where did you guys maybe not have those type of plays in the book, or did you, and did they just not work?
No, I mean, I felt like we had some good stuff. I felt like, we kind of got in a little bit of rhythm there in the second half. I thought some of the runs really hit. I thought a couple explosive plays. I don't know what the explosive play breakdown was. That's usually something we figure out afterwards. But I thought we were fairly explosive because that is a big factor in this game as well. So I'll have to look and see. But I thought when you look at it, how do you create explosives, I felt like, that part we were doing a pretty decent job on offense.
Right next door, Steve Hellwagon, 24/7
Coach,
Sports.
offensive line, it seemed like Kyle was under duress quite a bit today, and you'd sit on the interception there at the end. Just, I don't know, something you guys kind of thought it seemed all season. Just where do you leave with that?
Yeah, I'll have to watch it. Sometimes you get out of these games and it's hard to figure out. I think there were some good things. In terms of moving guys, a couple of those drives were pretty good. I thought some of the protection was good, but like you said, not consistent enough.
Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
I'm sorry if you guys, you had timeout left at the end of the first half, and you settled for a field goal there. Maybe you could have been a little bit more aggressive or take that approach at the end of the first half.
Yeah, they asked it before. I think it was 4th and 2, or at least a long 2, maybe 3. And I felt like at that point we had an opportunity to kick a 52-yarder, and I feel like that was probably the right thing to do. If we can get 3 points coming out of the half, especially starting the ball on the 2-yard line, was probably the right move. If you make it, you feel great. If you don't, you don't. So we missed it, and so certainly, we'll second guess everything. But if you don't convert on that 4th and 3, then you don't get anything. So I felt like at that time that was the right move.
Pat Forty, did you have your hand up? Yep, Pat.
Ryan, do you believe your team is a playoff team?
Ooh, I haven't even thought that far, Pat. Just playing in this game, everything's just so focused on this game. Yeah, I'd have to kind of process that. I mean, I think we have a very good team. We came up short today, and it's devastating. But I believe in our players. I think we have a veteran team. I think we have a team that, is solid in all 3 phases. And, I'd have to kind of see what else is out there, honestly. I've just been so focused on this game. I appreciate the question. I don't have a great answer for you right now. But I do believe that, this team can play with anybody in the country.
We take a couple more just for Coach. Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Ryan, I mean, obviously, the past 2 years have all been about trying to avenge the loss, and it doesn't happen again this year. Just where do you go from here now that you're in this situation for a 3rd time?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just after the game, so it's hard to start thinking about all that. Just trying to process the game right now, and then we'll go from there.
And final question, Larry Lage, AP.
Just to go back to that end of the first half, when I was asking, you had like 30 seconds left. My question is, what was the thought process to not try to call a play to convert the 1st down when you had 30 seconds left, and then maybe call a timeout?
Because it was 4th down, right?
Yeah, it was 4th down. You had about 30 seconds left. Ran the clock down. My question is the thought process to not call a play with 30 seconds left, try to convert, and then maybe call a timeout or spike it or whatnot. The thought
Yeah.
in that live time.
Right.
That's my question.
Yeah, so if you go for it on 4th down and don't get it, the other team gets the ball. So I thought at that time the best thing to do was to just decide to go for a field goal. So whether it was the end of the half or if it was 8 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter, I would have made the decision to kick a field goal. So I just wanted the clock to run down so we're out of the half. So whether there was 30 seconds on the clock at the half or not, the decision was made to make a field goal, and I felt like might as well run it down and then make that the last play of the half.